FAB-Racing.
But they're all finding their way into their grid slots. Archie O'Brien on the 91, Archie Gibbs on the 3. What can Harrison Day do from third on the grid? And Byron Johnson, who's been very fast starting so far this weekend, but they all get ready to look to the lights to kick off their second race of the weekend. And it's a good start from Archie Gibbs. Can he get the run? In fact, he's got a fantastic start up into the lead of this one. Archie O'Brien behind, couldn't quite get the bike started. You could see he was pedalling away, trying to get the movement in, but Archie Gibbs, fantastic start there from the 3.
Awesome start from Archie Gibbs. Exactly what he needed to do now. He just needs to see if he can back Archie O'Brien into the rest of the pack. Just try and upset his rhythm, and that is the only way that he's going to be able to really get inside the head of Archie O'Brien. Of course, these two Archies battling it out all day yesterday. Archie O'Brien taking all the wins that he could, and Archie Gibbs sitting there in second place, racking up those consistent podiums. So brilliant job from the both of them yesterday, but who is it going to be that's going to take the win today? Third place is the number 37 of Byron Johnson, just ahead of Harrison Day, and Travis Shaw up there in fifth place now. So that's a brilliant start from Travis, just maintaining his grid position on the number 4 machine. But Archie Gibbs now a tiny bit of breathing space over Archie O'Brien. He's just trying to make sure that he can keep and fend off the number 91. But I think Archie O'Brien's just making sure, just staying cool, calm and collected. There's no hurry for Archie. There's plenty of laps left to go in this race. And all he needs to do is stay calm, find his way past Archie Gibbs, and he's going to try and check out at the front if he does. But of course, Archie Gibbs is not going to let him do that.
Yeah, and Byron Johnson equally had a great start from 4th in the grid, getting past Harrison Day, and currently holds on to 3rd place in this one. As down the backstage, here comes Archie O'Brien making the move on Archie Gibbs into the first part of the infield section, and Archie O'Brien back up into the lead, of course starting on pole. Archie Gibbs with the better run off the line behind Byron Johnson, holds off an attack from Harrison Day, and then we've got 4 bikes in quick succession all fighting over 5th downwards. But Archie O'Brien back up into the lead this one. Lovely tidy little overtake, not pushing it too hard, no contact, and Archie O'Brien back up into the lead.
Yeah, so late on the brakes, Archie O'Brien. A brilliant move down into the infield section, but Archie Gibbs isn't letting him get away. He's all over the rear wheel of Archie O'Brien, and he's going to need to snap back as soon as he can to make sure Archie O'Brien doesn't get into a rhythm and doesn't pull away, because we've seen when Archie O'Brien is in the zone, and when he does manage to get into that rhythm, he really is a force to be reckoned with. The number 3 doing everything he can to stay with the number 91 as they go down into the infield section. This is where Archie O'Brien made a move 1 lap ago for the lead. Archie Gibbs still very much in this race, still all over Archie O'Brien, but Archie just stretching out a little bit of breathing space now, so Gibbs just needs to try and make sure he can regroup and try and get back onto the back wheel of the number 91. They come over to complete another lap into turn 1. Brilliant lines there from the number 91. He really is so nice to watch, so smooth, hangs off the bike exactly how he should be doing, and just looks so at home on that LC40 machine. And
how important for riders this young is it to have that technique down, because of course this will just carry him on through the rest of his racing career if he's already nailing, as you say, this smooth riding technique.
Yeah, to be nailing the fundamentals this early on is really what they need to be doing, so that they're making a habit of that, so when they move up onto the bigger bikes and up into classes further on, they keep that going, and they've already have the fundamentals down to a T, and that's exactly what they need to be doing in these early stages of their career, because if they start getting into habits that they need to get out of when they move up to higher level racing, then it really is it becomes a lot more difficult. So to be nailing doing all the right things now is perfectly what they need to be doing. Just looking at Travis Shaw there, the number 4, of course, birthday today, 8 years old today, from Barrow in Furness. Of course, father Danny Shaw. Best achievement last year, 3rd overall at Rowra in the AC40 Rookies 2020, and he's going to be looking to go out and see if he can pick up a podium here. He's just ahead of Marco Holt there, the number 58, and the number 199 just behind them of Finley Polehill. So these guys all battling it out, and he's fighting with some big names there. Of course, Marco Holt, front runner over in the GP50s as well, as Marco Holt makes a beautiful move there, and you can see the experience behind the number 58. Got the drive, got a perfect move, and just ducked underneath him on the drive out of there.
Yeah, lovely under and over there. In fact, sweeping around the outside line, which isn't a move you often see too much. And behind this, still battles going on. Byron Johnson doing a brilliant job of holding off Harrison Day for third position at the moment. And he's just about keeping him at arm's length. And Lewis Hull equally behind. Looks as though he's got Austin Johnson for company as they come into the infield section as well. So there's still all to play for in this AC40 Pro class, but it is still Archie O'Brien from Archie Gibbs, Byron Johnson and Harrison Day battling out for that final podium place.
Yeah, brilliant to see these guys battling out for these podium positions, and this will give them plenty of confidence as they go out in the rest of the season. Marco Holt now just fending off the number 4 Travis Shaw and Finley Polehill, who's just dropped off the back of these guys slightly since a lap ago, so he's going to have to look to try and regroup and get onto the back of these guys once again. You can see Travis Shaw looking really menacing there, all over the rear wheel of Marco Holt. Travis Shaw told us that his aspirations are to win a championship, so he's going to be looking to go out there, build up his confidence and try and get out and win some races. Just looks as if Chloe Sewell's crashed out of this race. She looks a little bit winded there, so really unfortunate for the number 101. Hopefully she'll be back out racing later on in the AC40 Pros. Of course, 2 more races to go after this one. This is race 1 for round 2 for the AC40 Pros. Yeah, and plenty more racing left to come today throughout all classes and across the entirety of FAB, from the big bikes to the smaller bikes. But at the moment, the AC40 Pros, it is Archie O'Brien leading away from Archie Gibbs. What's great to see today, though, is Archie Gibbs staying with Archie O'Brien. He's obviously spent the evening learning where he needs to pick up the pace, where he was losing some time to Archie O'Brien. And he's only got about a second's gap, so it's good to see, because yesterday the gap was extending, and Archie was getting stronger and stronger as the race went on. And but this time around, it looks as though he's learning to stay with him. Behind, there's been a change for third position as Harrison Day has now got past Byron Johnson for third. So Byron Johnson dropping down from third to fourth on the grid, but it is still Archie O'Brien from Archie Gibbs, now from Harrison Day. Byron Johnson now down to fourth. Yeah, and Archie O'Brien has just checked out at the front like we've seen him do, but Archie Gibbs a lot closer this time, so he's going to be looking to go out in race 3 and see if he can get the better of Archie O'Brien. Of course, it's not over just yet. A few more laps to go of this AC40 Pro race. Looking so smooth out the front is the number 91, Archie O'Brien. Really good, really late on the brakes down into the infield section as well, and that's what allowed him to make that move earlier on Archie Gibbs. Archie Gibbs in a brilliant second place. He's got that in the bag, consolidated. Nice lonely race for Archie Gibbs. Not what he would have wanted from an entertainment perspective, but he will be happy to be picking up another podium in this race with 1 more lap left to go. Just 1 lap for Archie O'Brien to come around this racetrack and pick up yet another win this weekend. So far in 2021, 100% win rate. Yeah, clean sweep at the moment, but he's still going to make his way around the rest of this circuit. It's interesting to see Archie O'Brien. His bike is a lot more front happy. It's you can see Archie Gibbs behind, a lot more planted coming out of the high load fast turn 6 down towards the infield section. So Archie quite happy to run the bumps here, and in fact he's got a bit of lap traffic to make his way around, and behind Archie Gibbs trying to stay with him as they go down towards the infield section for the final time for this race of the AC40 Pros. It's Archie O'Brien once again, the man in form, is sweeping around the final few corners. He's about to take the checkered flag and add another win to his name. Archie O'Brien, your winner in the AC40 Pros. What a result once again. Archie Gibbs comes home in second position. However, much better from Archie Gibbs. I'm sure we'll see him getting a lot quicker later on in the day as he starts to get a little bit more warmed up. The battle behind is still going on between Harrison Day and Byron Johnson. It looks as though Harrison Day is going to take that one ahead of Byron Johnson. So Harrison Day, another podium for him, which I'm sure with Harrison, who's had a pretty solid weekend so far. Yeah, Harrison's been absolutely flying this weekend. Of course, we saw loads of promise in him last year as well, and this year he's really come out swinging, getting on that podium, picking up those points and doing a really good job, and really consistent for the championship as well, of course. Very early days, but they're going to be thinking about the long game, and if he can be scoring points in this championship, he could be looking at a top 3. Yeah, he could be indeed, but it is Archie O'Brien that takes another win here for the race in the AC40 Pros. And, well, one more race to go for the AC40 Pros. They'll be out later today.
It is the final round of the weekend for the AC40 Pros. They begin their race 3 with Archie O'Brien versus Archie Gibbs. Once again, watch out for row 2. Harrison Day, Byron Johnson. Byron Johnson's had some storming starts so far this weekend. Travis Shaw, Finley Polehill. What can they do as they get ready to look to the lights to start their final race of the weekend? It's another brilliant start. It's Harrison Day taking the lead into T1. What a result there. What a start for Harrison Day. Absolutely storming into the lead. But here comes Archie O'Brien. Can he come back at him going into the second chicane? No, it's Harrison. Oh, it gets a little bit of a wobble. That's going to take him offline. Should open the door. In fact, it's going to go side by side. That's Byron Johnson trying to challenge for the lead.
And that's Archie O'Brien now up into the lead. Byron Johnson all over the rear wheel of Harrison Day. Brilliant start from Harrison Day. Pretty average start for the two Archies, both falling back. Archie Gibbs falling back quite a few positions as well. So not quite as on it at the start of this race as we're used to seeing from them. But now Archie O'Brien, he's already got a bit of breathing space down into the infield section for the first time. He now leads ahead of Harrison Day in second. And Byron Johnson in third. Archie Gibbs dropped down to fourth place. He's going to try and recover from that. You're going to have to think that he's going to try and have a little bit of a move on Harrison Day and Byron Johnson just ahead of him. Lewis Hull in there battling it out with number 58 of Marco Holt. Marco making a really nice little tight little line around the final corner. Byron Johnson, it still is in third. Look at Archie Gibbs, he's looking really strong in fourth. He's trying to line up a move, can't make it stick just yet, but he's looking really menacing behind the number 37 of Byron Johnson with the black helmet there. Archie Gibbs with the St. George's cross on the top of the helmet has a little look, not quite close enough there. Archie O'Brien already checked out at the front, and it is Harrison Day who is defending these riders just behind him.
Yeah, and Harrison doing a great job. Byron Johnson, once again, brilliant start for the young rider from Charlie Bassett in Oxfordshire. And he's keeping Archie Gibbs behind him, but Archie looking very racy. As you were saying, he's having a look to the inside, but Byron covers off that apex and in fact closes in, goes a little bit wide, and that's going to compromise him through the next complex of corners. Will Archie Gibbs be able to get a run? He's going to get a bit of a launch compared to Byron, but Byron doing a good job of holding him off and holds on the inside. But here comes Archie Gibbs sweeping around the final corner, taking third position. Good move there from Archie. Noticed that Byron Johnson was offline into the final corner and took advantage of it. So Archie Gibbs, after falling back off the start from second down to fourth, now makes his way back up to third. So now next target is Harrison Day, and Harrison, who started like a man on fire, got to the lead, has now dropped down to second, but is holding his own at the moment. Archie Gibbs a little bit of work to do. Really impressive ride here from Harrison Day, really coming into his own on this 14mm AC40 Pro bike. Really enjoying life with a little bit of extra power, enjoying it out there. You can see he's really smooth with his lines, looks like a really good little rider, and he's going to be improving all through this season, so expect to see him challenging for wins as we go into the back end of this season. But right now it is the beginning of the season and he is in second place, currently defending from Archie Gibbs. Of course, Archie Gibbs getting his maiden win in 2021. Earlier on he has a little look to the inside, can't make a move stick there. Really brilliant lines there from Harrison Day, really nice smooth lines, but still a little bit defensive, so exactly what he needs to be doing. Archie O'Brien out the front, setting the fastest lap of the race earlier on and setting really consistent lap times within a tenth of each other, so brilliant stuff from the number 91 out front. But it's about this battle for second. Archie Gibbs was getting really close. Did he manage to make a move? No, not quite, not just yet. He's eyeing it up. You're going to have to think he gets a good drive out of there. They go side by side as they go down to the next corner. Can't make a move stick there. You can see Harrison Day really defensive. Archie Gibbs trying every single line. He's trying every little inch of this circuit to try and get past. Yeah, and here comes Archie Gibbs to the inside line, cut off at the last moment there by Harrison Day. Really nice defensive riding for Harrison Day, but Archie Gibbs takes the tighter line through the next two hairpins, and that's going to get him a run into the final corner. Will he shape him up and take the inside line like we saw against Byron Johnson just a few laps ago?
Oh, he's down!
Between the pair of them, Archie Gibbs goes down in the final corner, just clipped the rear tyre of Harrison Day, and Archie Gibbs is down, and he's falling down the order. It looks as though the bike is still running. He can get back up in the race, so a lot of work for Archie Gibbs to do. Unfortunately, just tried that move, but it just didn't work. Harrison had covered off the inside lines. Archie Gibbs back in the race. That promotes Byron Johnson and Austin Johnson now up into third and fourth position. So they're now fighting over a podium position between themselves. It's a classic little bit too much front brake, trying to do a little bit too much mid-corner, just locked up the front, a little bit of a bubble, and unfortunately that landed him a crash. Luckily, not too much damage to the bike. Nice, easy little crash. He was able to just get straight back on and straight back into this race. But it's the two Johnsons fighting for that final podium position as Harrison Day now in a lonely second place. And that is now a mistake from both Archies that we've
seen now. They've both been pretty consistent at the front, but now both of them making one mistake each. Of course, Archie O'Brien crashing out earlier on, and now it's Archie Gibbs who has crashed out and has rejoined this race a little bit further down. So really unfortunate for Archie Gibbs, but these two Johnsons going at it. Sibling rivalry for the final place on the podium, 5 laps into this race, and these guys have got plenty of time to have a couple of moves on each other, but it is Austin who is just behind Byron Johnson. Of course, Byron on that final podium position at the moment, and they've got a little bit of a gap to Harrison Day in front, who looks quite safe in this second position at the moment.
And how much easier is it for Austin? He's on the offensive, Byron on the defensive. Austin can just look at where Byron's racing, where he's putting that bike, and how much easier is it to go on the offensive rather than just trying to pay attention to the guy behind you?
It's always easier to follow. It's always easier to be the one behind us. He just has a little look there. Not sure if he made that new stick, but it is always easier to be the one behind, because obviously the one in front is there hitting their markers. You can just copy what they're doing, do what they're doing, and do a little bit more as well. So it's always easier to be the one behind and not have that clear space in front of you. Some people do prefer it, in all fairness, but I've always thought that it is easier to be the one following and have that reference in front of you. And now Austin is just making the most of that. This is another battle a little bit further back between 5th place birthday boy Travis Shaw and the number 58 Marco Holt, front runner over in the GP50s, and really quick over on that GP50 machine, really taking to the gearbox bike, much better than the, obviously he's very, very quick, of course, in the AC40 Pros as well, but really taking to the gearbox bike and seems to suit him a bit more.
Yeah, and doing a great job of it. We can see behind a chance for an overtake there that's Finley Polehill. It looks as though he's just managed to sweep around the inside, but behind, no, sorry, Finley Polehill, that is Marco Holt and Travis Shaw, sorry, just as they battle.
They all wear the same leathers.
I know, it's the same guys, so many bright colours. But yeah, up ahead you can see the battle still going on between the Johnsons as they fight over the podium. However, with 2 laps left to go, it's still Archie O'Brien leading this one by a country mile, 7.2 seconds away from Harrison Day. Harrison, who's had a brilliant ride so far in this one, got to the front, and even when he was under attack from Archie Gibbs, but with a lap and a half left to go, Archie O'Brien, with the fastest lap, is currently leading, looking at making up for that slight area early on where he cost himself some time, didn't manage to come home and pick up a win, but was been probably his worst part. And as we said, is the only point so far this weekend where he's dropped any points, and he'll be looking at picking up another win and making it so that car, like we said yesterday, will be a little bit heavier with medals and trophies come the end of this weekend.
I thought you were calling his bike a car then. I thought that's even worse than calling them drivers. But no, yeah, absolutely, his car will be a little bit heavier on the way back with all that silverware as he just comes up to lap. Callum Maxwell riding Chloe Sewell's bike there. So good to see Callum Maxwell back out and in this race. But it's Archie O'Brien who is flying out the front of this one. Fastest lap of the race earlier on, just controlling the pace at the front beautifully. Plenty of talent on that number 91 machine, but half a lap to go and he will take another win here this weekend at Lydd. Heads down into this section for the final time. Really nice lines through here. He's just been so strong at this Lydd kart circuit. Archie Gibbs will want to see the back of it and see if he can have a go at him at Clandow at the next round. But it is Archie Gibbs Archie O'Brien coming through the infield section for the final time, down to the final corner for one more time for Archie Gibbs on the AC40 Pros. He will take yet again another win for Archie Gibbs. A plethora of wins for Archie goes. It's easy for him. Look at him, relaxed over the line, and it's going to be Harrison Day that's going to come across the line very shortly to pick up that second place. Brilliant result there from Harrison Day. Debut second place for him. Brilliant stuff from Harrison Day. Austin Johnson in third, just gets the better of Byron at the end, so Austin just managed to get ahead of the number 37. Travis Shaw fends off Finley Polehill for 5th. Finley in 6th. Marco Holt, it looks, who's dropped down a couple of places, so we're going to have to wait and see what happened there.
Yeah, as Finley, Marco, as you say, dropping down to 7th place. Travis Shaw getting a top 5 on his birthday. Finley Polehill on 6th. Marco Holt dropping down the order, and that's him off to the side of the circuit. So it is on the last lap. Marco Holt's 58 bike gives up on him, and that's going to promote Lewis Hull up to 7th place and Sam Gardner up to 8th. Callum Maxwell's come across the line already in 10th position, a lap down, but Marco stranded at the side of the circuit and quite a long way back from the pit lane as well, so it's a bit of a stroll back over to pit road. But Archie O'Brien, what can you say? Another absolutely stellar race for the young man. Harrison Day, I'm sure will be happy with that. Austin Johnson has deserved this one. He's had a really good weekend, just maybe hasn't had the rub of the green compared to his brother Byron. And, well, if you want to beat anyone to get on the podium, your brother's probably the best bet.
Let's go! The official BSB Partner Series. This is FAB-Racing. Yeah.